got a lot to discuss here, fellas. Jesus Lord, man.
We almost too much one.
Almost too much.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit overwhelming. Can I see? I see Lang is out there in the battle rap community right now. So my boy Lang.
Nah, yeah, I know. I told him, I said, hey, I got a show to shoot. You know what I'm saying? We got some stuff to chop up. We got to chop up the Fable. So you know what I'm saying?
What was it, Lang? The RBE joint you did, right?
Yeah. So I did starting fives for each league. So it was URL, Queen of the Ring, King of the Dot, and RBE as well too. It was pretty much predicated around giving credence and honor to the battlers that really helped build the leagues that we garner or consider the all-time leagues that we watch. So that's pretty much all that was.
How they Froze felt about being 6-man?
Oh, luckily I haven't had an interaction with him yet, but I'm pretty sure he's not a happy camper. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. I feel like when you are that passionate about the brand, and also passionate about your work, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be happy about a lot of comments. You know what I'm saying? But I still acknowledge the fact that he's a great talent. He's done a lot for RBE. One of the best spokespeople for RBE. And you can't take that away from him. So, no slight to Froze.
All right, fellas. We got April 12th. April 12th and 13th. Am I right on that? April 12th and 13th. Pardon me. Wow, Chilla joke. My bad. TBL, Houston, Texas. Let me ask you media guys a question. I was gonna go. I think I want to sit in the crib and watch these fellas. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, man. I ain't gonna lie. Two-day event a lot. And as I said to you off camera 3, I'm in the final stages of a move. You know that not only is that taxing, that's expensive. It's expensive to move. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see if it makes sense for me. But just from like a media, you know, all of us probably feel the same way. It's easier to shoot content from home. I also feel like I like watching battles more on camera than in person, like in terms of how to judging them. Obviously, going in person battle rap ain't nothing like it in the world, man. But it's easier for me to judge it, easier for me to get content out to, you know what I'm saying, you guys, my people's over at the channel. So I'll see, because I think it's almost my duties. A lot of people that want to see me out there, I would love to pop out there to Houston. But if I don't, I ain't losing no sleep over it. I'm actually gaining some. So you might not see me out there, but we'll see. Month from now might be different.
What's up, Lang?
No, I'm not gonna lie. My battle rap legs are not conditioned for a 2-day event. I'm gonna keep it real. And then and then you talking about, because like I went to Max Out 3 and I was like 10, 11 battles. You know what I'm saying? And I was cool. I can't do that back-to-back days. I'm just keeping it real. I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's why I feel like UW. When I went to New Orleans, I was like, yo, this UW card. It's a lot of matches. I only got some one-round battles.
I'm tired watching it.
And it's the intermissions too, though.
It's 20 rap battles, bro. 20 rap. I love battle rap, bro. I watch every 20 fucking rap battles. Like, all right, like it's gonna be. So I might not be out there either, man.
All right, fella, let's go ahead, man. April 12th, day 1 card. Let's talk Hollow the Don versus Jazz the Rapper. Let me just say this, Lang and Smoke. I know this was the second, and me and Smoke was in the spaces earlier with the culture, talking crazy about all these battles and stuff. And just say other people feel about the battles and stuff. I like the battle, respectfully. Am I crazy about the battle, Lang and Smoke? Probably not that crazy about it. I know this Hollow's first female that he's actually battling. It's gonna be hard, Small Lang, for me to go against Jazz the Rapper right now. Call me prisoner of the moment.
I ain't doing it either, 3.
I got Jazz. 2-1 right now. I got Jazz.
Yeah, we talked about it a little. So I won't be long-winded. I've talked about it on my channel too. I don't love the matchup, but I understand why it's headlining. It's Jazz and Hollow. You put the names together. I get it. But I got Jazz. Better form as of recent. I know that they're going to say battle of the strategist, which of course that's what it is. But look who's been out strategizing lately. She's been a better puncher, better angler, better performer. Been doing it against better competition. When you look at Tayrock and even going back a little bit, I had her beat New Jersey Twork. I losing a couple of the men too. Got to lose in a Big K. Got to lose in the Nitty. You know what I'm saying? But that's a mix. That's what happens when you're top tier. She's kind of going beyond just being like the best woman, so we're throwing her up. She's just battling like a normal top tier. And if you look at Hollow's recent work, there's a little bit of good. The A-Ward is good. He shows a little bit versus Av in that first round, but we don't got him winning battles recently. And the person you're not going to get you're not like, oh, he's going to get his groove back versus Jazz. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the one where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the one where he's going to go kick her ass. It's not going to be like that. So, I don't love the matchup, but it's still God-tier action. And I still got Jazz 2-1. It'll be a good Hollow. You should be good for this card. Everyone's got prep time, but I still got Jazz.
Yeah, I got Jazz 2-1 as well, too. Hollow in Houston, home game if you want to do that or whatever.
That's right there.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I just think that Jazz brand is like worldwide. Like people like want to see Jazz. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she's treating every matchup like every matchup that she's taking here on out. She's treating it with a purpose. Like she's taking it with a purpose. And I feel like she's a student of the game. I think with her and Geechi, like pretty much studying battle rap, you know what I'm saying, when they're not battling, you know what I'm saying. I think that she's watched enough footage of Hollow to break down a couple of things too. And if we're just being transparent, she's just been a better strategist and a better angler than Hollow the past recent years, right? And then, like Smo mentioned, she's also adding other dimensions to her game, whether it be the back-to-back punching, the cadences, the rapping that she's showcasing as well too. So I also have Jazz the Rapper 2-1. I think this is a very, very hard battle for Hollow, and he's already has like this weird learning curve that he has to engage with it being his first lady that he's battling, right? But then it's also one of the best female battle rappers in the world that you're facing at the same time too. So it's a lot. Honestly, I'll be very, very hard pressed to see Hollow win this battle clear, let alone win the battle at all. Honestly, even it being in Houston, I don't see it. So I got Jazz 2-1.
If you'd asked me this 2010, 2011, if Jazz the Rapper could beat Hollow the Don, I would have laughed in your face. And this is where we are right now in 2025. Well, I think Jazz the Rapper will beat Hollow the Don.
Any of these battlers, you tell her Jazz versus Rock.
Yeah.
Jazz versus, I guess some of them weren't, Ket and Nitty weren't super in the picture yet. But yeah, like it's like I agree. It's kind of crazy at times how far we've come.
Let me ask you gentlemen a question before we go to the next battle. For Hollow to beat Jazz, that's a great win though, fella, is it not?
It's a good win, but I will say this right now. I will say this. I think the Hollow fans will be rejoicing, right? But I think that the neutralists or even people that are not really big fans of Hollow, they acknowledge that he knows how to win battles. I think it's been the quality of the wins has been his critique. And you can't really, and when you're a top tier guy, you're going against a multitude of top tiers, right? You can't always have the prettiest wins. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your dirty wins here and there. But the issue is that like those great performances have been few and far in between. And even the performances that are considered to be his best work aren't necessarily great. Like they're good performances. Like him versus Geechi is one of them I can name. Him versus Hollow was a good performance to me. But people are awaiting a great performance from Hollow that we haven't seen in quite some time. I don't know if it will be the Jazz battle.
Is Twork's last big great performance? We had 3 fire rounds.
And I'll tell you what, I've been a Hollow critic for quite some time. I feel like finally the world the last year or two has been seeing it. And he's done good things post-Rock.
Yes.
But I feel like there is from Rock and before, debatably the best battle rapper ever. Like, and I don't say that lightly. Like, win-loss, greatness, the best. Rock, everything after the Rock battle, completely different. Still a top tier, but
it's a mixed bag.
Battle rapper, bro.
It's a mixed bag.
Math loss mode still bothers me a little bit. I love you, Math, but I'm still shocked about that Math loss.
And listen, Math is good in that battle. I like to think Math's underrated. Does he have any business beating Hollow the Don? Absolutely not. And then he lost to John John. It's the battle for the name. I could go on and on. There's a lot of losses that people debated that I'm like, he really still lost that battle. But he gets that fan base advantage. He's a god tier. He deserves it. And if he does good enough in this battle, his people's are going to argue for him. That's what happens when you build up. But I've been saying, ever since 2016, not that he's washed. I don't want to say none of that, but he is not the same guy, the GOAT candidate he was beforehand. I've been felt that way.
It's
passwords like
it just seems like it just seems like he is still trying to figure out what works. And I feel like I forgot who made this comment, but like they said someone made the comment of saying that in battle rap, unorthodox just means unorganized, right? And I want to believe that's not true for Hollow. I want to believe there's method to the madness, but in these recent battles, I have no reason to believe otherwise. I think that you get his first round for Av, and then the second and third, it's like he accidentally put the dirty batch in his rounds. He always says he has a dirty batch. It's like it seems like he put it in his rounds on accident. So like I don't know what Hollow is going through creatively. You see creative things that he does here and there. Like I said, the Geechi Gotti battle, I thought he was really good. But then there's another battle where I'm just like, I don't know what direction you're taking. I don't know why this is the angle that you chose. I don't know, but it's crazy because I think that Hollow is a student of the game and is very receptive to what people are saying. But for some reason, I still feel like he's trying to still figure out, how can I be a dangerous Hollow in this climate of battle rap? You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I don't know if the answers would be solved in the jazz battle, but I still feel like there's something missing with what Hollow has been doing. So I don't know.
Smo, talk to me. New Jersey Twork versus A.Ward.
You and me thinking the same way. This is the main event of day one for me. You know what I'm saying? I thought Lang feels.
Sorry, Hollow and Jazz. This is one for respectfully. I love y'all.
Yeah, to me, it's the battle I'm looking the most forward to. Competitive battle too, and I think most people, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm picking Twork, and I think most of the world is gonna pick Twork. But he's got a large schedule coming up. Him and Kid Slade are getting rescheduled, right? I think that's gonna end up going down first. He's got T-Rex, he's got Vixen. He's got Vixen like a week before or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Or like very close to it. And then he's got A.Ward. That's a tough schedule. And A.Ward is the toughest opponent. Although, I don't know, he's got Rex in New York, so there's a debate there. I ain't going to lie to you. But A.Ward might be like an active battle rap right now, the toughest opponent out of those four. Somebody is going to get a Twork not at 100. Not saying he's going to choke. Right. No, but somebody is going to not get a 10 out of 10 New Jersey Twork. I just have a hard time believing that that's going to be the battle because that's the most important one, even if it's last. So I'm going to go Twork 2-1 edge, but I would not be shocked at all if A.Ward wins. I think this is more of a legacy battle for Ward than it is for Twork. Like I don't actually feel bad saying that, even though they've kind of come up at around the same time.
I hate the history, fellas. They got a lot of history in this battle.
Yeah. Plus, the one thing I will say is I think that there's they went back and forth. He pushed him when he had the Loso battle, but the Christian dialogue is going to be a little different because obviously. We're going to talk about Christianity. Yeah, but Twork is his mother's a preacher. You know what I'm saying? Anyone go follow her. I know that she does her preaching thing. I think that's fantastic. He supports her in that way. But that's a huge part of his upbringing. You know what I'm saying? And he talks about it. He also talks about robbing and killing. So he's a little bit of one of the more aggressive Christian battle rappers if he's in that conversation. But I think that they're both very skilled to have a dialogue there. But come on, man, 500 people. More hundreds of people, more favorable it is for Twork. PK Bakers, what can he do right now? Pound for pound might be the best battle rapper in the world. So I got Twork 2-1 edge, but it just seems like a very favorable situation for Ward. I'm not saying it's advantage Ward, but I'm saying if there's any situation I feel like he could really beat Twork, I would not be shocked if A-Ward won the battle. I expect the best from both of them.
Lang and Small. Lang, let me go to you right quick. Small just spoke about Twork's schedule, right? Some battles coming up, fellas. He has City Towers. I know, okay.
That ain't no battle, man.
That ain't no battle. City Towers, sorry. That real slick shit was nasty work. We got True Foe in Chicago. I think March 2nd, I believe. We got True Foe in Chicago. And then he has this battle with easier schedule than Twork, to say the least, right?
Yeah, and I would venture to say that I think that A-Ward's more conditioned in those type of circumstances too. But I love this battle. This is the one for me. This is honestly, I mean, this is one of the battles I'm most excited for.
Out of 20 battles, this is the third best battle of the weekend.
This is the one for me. I love this battle. It's Twork in Houston, even though it's not URL, it's still Twork in Houston.
Yes.
The Suge performance, the Hollow performance
in Houston. I feel,
bro, his style was made for that environment, right? Then Smo just mentioned that it's going to be a bigger environment, right? 500 plus, 600, 700. The reason why I can't full on think that Twork is just going to clearly beat A-Ward besides the schedule is that I just feel like Ward has garnered a lot of skills in the past couple of years in terms of handling a bigger stage too, and spawning some of his own moments as well too, with the rebuttaling, with the performative aspects that he has as well too. It's just tough because I feel like a lot of what A-Ward does, Twork taps into that as well too. He can rebuttal a little bit. He can create moments as well too. And then when you talk about the dialogue from the Christianity and all that, Twork, when he wants to get surgical, he can get surgical with the breakdowns as well too. damn, like it's tough because
here's my thing. Feel me on this. All right, I had Ward beating Geechi twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Debatable with Rum Nitty, right? Feel me, fellas. In those battles, I felt people felt like A-Ward was going to lose those battles.
No, actually, A-Ward was the favorite to win against Nitty, like by a smidge.
One of the few times I've seen Nitty lose in a prediction poll. He was the favorite.
You're right about that. But the point I'm making is that he beat these guys, the big dogs, in battle.
He has a good track record. Him versus Ill Will on Max Out. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his.
He done beat Will. He done beat Suge.
So what we doing here, fellas?
But it's so hard because this is Twork. We're talking like because styles make fights. Don't get me wrong, styles just makes fights. And again, the moments where I've seen A-Ward most vulnerable is against like the punchers that are like just extremely explosive. You could be all around all day, 100%. But when a guy is bombing on you, you have to find a way to match it. And that's the issue. Is like when Twork gets going. It's very, very hard.
It's relentless, man. It's not.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
All right.
I think that we're going to see the best A-Ward in quite some time because he kind of has to be against Twork. I still got Twork 2-1 edge smidge.
I'm with you.
But I wouldn't be surprised if A-Ward won just because this battle means a lot to him. This battle means like I think the reason why I care about this battle so much, right? I feel like Ward has had the stigma of being, and I think I thought that he would break the stigma by now, but he's had the stigma of being a big fish in a small nomad pod. Like he's a big character, but like he bounces around, he does a bunch of stuff and all that or whatever. So I feel like even when he gets a top tier win, it's not magnified like that. I feel like a win over 100% Twork is something that you cannot take away from him. I feel like this would be the biggest win of his career if he goes in there, beats Twork, if Twork was at 100%. So I say that to say that he knows what this matchup means to him. However, it's just hard for me to go against Twork in this matchup. And I just think that it's all set out there for him. So I got Twork 2-1.
Anything else on Hansel? Want to add to that?
No, I mean, it's just going to be a good-ass battle. I expect it to be, something that we'll say, I'm going to end up saying it a bunch for all these battles. But prep time is so key, and they've been booked for months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're expecting the best version of both, especially battlers at this level, I'd say it's almost preferential. If Twork didn't have such a loaded schedule, I'd have Twork clear. All due respect to A-Ward. He knows I got love for him, but I just think Twork is like the better talent. He's an all-time talent. So if he had 100% focus on him, but the fact he's got so many battles and like dangerous, like battles of value coming up, it's not just City Towers. You know what I'm saying? There's something like that. That makes me think that there is that window for Ward to give him his full focus. It's his legacy play. And God forbid, funny, and I talk about Ward, I say, God forbid, he wins this battle. It would be one of the best wins of Ward's career. And I don't know if there is like a next level. I view him as like top tier, top 10 every year for the most part. We end up talking Cody, but it'll just add to that because a Twork win, especially at this point in Twork's career, super impressive. Not easy.
I do have one caveat though, right? Sure. If this battle ends up getting moved to day 2, I think there'll be an inclination of someone not being prepared. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just keeping it real. If it's happening on day 1, I might keep my. But if it's happening on day 2, I'm like, hold on now, because that does happen a couple of times.
That might have happened a time or two before. That's funny as hell. But then again, he moved it to Mass 6. He moved it to day 2, and he was still firing. He still did pass greasy. So
I like that caveat though. Next one, sir. Marv Won versus Arsenal. I was in the space of small earlier, right?
They were telling us.
I gotta be honest, man. It was a little bit out of hand in there, Lang, if you was in there, brother. Listen, to me, this battle can go either way. Okay, let me just say this, all right? And I understand Arsenal sometimes can be on some bullshit at sometimes. I know some people add the filler to his name sometimes and everything. But I felt like people in there was favoritism because they might like Marv's personality more than Arsenal, right? But the way they was in acting like Marv was about to go in there and just kill Arsenal, and Marv, respectfully, I don't got you killing Arsenal, but I don't got Arsenal killing him either, though, Smoke.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Crazy. I was gonna say I don't even think it's gonna be like that crazy of a battle. I got respect for Marv. I know that there's this whole push in the second half of his career, like the I'm not washed. You know what I'm saying? And he's not. He's solid, but it's not like I'm looking at Marv as like one of the best top 10 most dangerous rappers in the world either. Like even when he battled Geechi, he won definitely his battle. We know what that was. He battled Rock. It was cool. I think Rock won. I get the thing cheering for him. Yeah, I think most of us got Rock 2-1. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's fairly competitive. Him and Danny had a war. Danny has a war with everybody, all due respect. I'm just like, when I see Marv versus like the most top tier competition, I thought for many years that was kind of like his problem, is he was not like some top tier threat when he went up against him. He's cleaned that up a bit. And I think Arsenal donates victories, man. I don't think Arsenal wins all that much. I will say he's done. I'm in the minority. I know that we got Trez. I think all three of us got Trez beating Arsenal, but the world's got Arsenal, and I feel like it kind of hypnotizes him with like the animation. But his not always tailored, a little bit outdated, saying a lot of bars he said for years, you know what I'm saying? And like that aggravates me. Maybe that's just a personal pet peeve. I don't like hearing the same bars over and over and over again. But the thing is, he's got energy and he's an immaculate rapper. He's got his own flow, and there's a reason he's so influential. And Marv sometimes can suffer from those same things. I don't think Marv's always got the most creative. I think he's a better puncher, better writer, but I don't think he's always got the most unheard of material ever. So it's definitely a pick 'em. I'm not expecting it to be a no battle of the nights. I don't think it's going to be trash ass.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be like something we walk away from the weekend like, oh my God, Marv and Arsenal. So I got Marv 2-1. Favorable situation. This is kind of something I can't base any facts on, so it's a guess, but kind of the audience that TBL brings, I think might be a little bit more receptive to a Marv than maybe where they would for Marv elsewhere. So I think he'll have a good performance. I think he'll just be more tailored. So I got him 2-1, but if Arsenal wins, shout out to him. He's been looking a little bit better since the Mook battle, so it'd be good.
Yeah, Marv 2-1. I mean, it's interesting because if it's just strictly raps, right? Like, I can see where Arsenal may out rap Marv just with the pacing and stuff like that. But material wise, I do think that Marv is just rapping better stuff than Arsenal now. But is more to battle rap than just the material. I think we're past this time of this type of content, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marv kind of delve into the Detroit angle a little bit, right? How you know what I'm saying? Even though it's kind of like, I don't know, even though it's kind of like, to me, Arsenal was just in Michigan, Detroit, or whatever, so it's like whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised considering that he's the OG and he was actually there and he, you know, has a presence there. He mentions that or whatever, but honestly, I don't see the aim for this battle. I don't know why, you know what I'm saying, this got booked. You know what I'm saying? I know Marv is Chilla's homeboy and whatnot. I would like to see Marv go against like another top tier guy that I feel like would have like really pushed Marv's pen. But I have Marv 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if this is in the similar lane of Marv and Geechi, and that like the venom is just really not there, honestly. And again, it's no slight to them. I just don't feel like they're gonna really go at each other like that.
Like, I want to stay with the comment you just made there. If you to what you just said, right? Because I thought when I spoke to Marv after the Geechi battle, obviously the sentiments is like, okay, Geechi put his foot up the gas, right? He went like this, right? If you have Marv those smaller lane, don't you get pissed off a little bit at your peers, like almost not going hard at you, like taking the foot off the gas almost? Like, would you feel the way as a battle rapper?
It's twofold. One, I don't think Marv was that good in the battle. Like, I know that they're like, he choked to the second, but his first and third were immaculate. It wasn't like terrible, but he was just, he won. Like, he just did enough to win. And it's definitely frustrating. I think that's the thing that with Marv, the conversation around him, I feel like it's kind of funny. I feel like his core fan base is like very loud for him. So when I don't say anything that's like very pro Marv, I get treated like I hate Marv, and it's not that whatsoever, dog. Like, and I get it. He feels like he's been underrated, but bro, people just don't consider him up there in the conversations with the best of the best. Still a legend, still a top 50 battle rapper.
Absolutely.
So like,
I love Marv.
where you are in history. We're not trying to take you out of it or rewrite it, but yeah, like people don't view him the way they view him.
But let me ask you something.
He doesn't end up getting that effort from them because they might not consider him the challenge that some of his fans consider him. Doesn't make him not good. It just doesn't make him that. So that's how I feel about Marv.
Lang, we'll go back to you, Lang. What do you say to this? That when we give people like Midwest Miles, X Factor, even Verb, the Midwest movement, right? M.C.C.O.D.Y, I feel like Marv, they get more love for being 2-2 more than holding on the Midwest.
But that's where their impact is, though. I mean, Marv was a dog versus Pat versus Verb.
Mm-hmm.
Those were big wins
Cortez.
back then. Then from 2012 to 20 whenever when he lost to Math, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember lost like that. He lost to T-Rex in an era where T-Rex wasn't coming with nothing. Like he lost to a very bad version of Rex. Like, he didn't battle at that same level for years and years and years. So I'm happy he's having his second win. But not like I think he gets more credit than Miles, all due respect. But I mean, like at the same time, he's not looked at like a Verb, like a Hitman. And I think you might ask Lang that. I mean, it's still a spot, but I get yelled at about Marv a lot, and I'm very tired of it.
Arsenal don't fuck with me. He's called me all kind of names, but I'm going Arsenal 2-1 on here, man. I'm going Arsenal the Rebel. Yes, Arsenal 2-1, Arsenal Rebel, man. Next battle, fellas. Which one you want to grab this battle here? I'm gonna get you carried in. You guys talk about this battle. Geechi Gotti versus 40 Bars.
I'm gonna start with this one. I'm not gonna lie. If this was Geechi 2021, where he was still pretty consistent, honestly, I think the consistency for Geechi started to really dwindle away after he got that third Cody. 2022 period was kind of when it kind of really was like a mixed bag of things. But if this was 2021, it would be Geechi 2-1 clear, honestly. But because this is a weird circumstance where we don't know what Geechi's going to show up, and if 40's in this this is probably one of her weirdest stretches of her career in terms of just being wildly inconsistent. I'm going to go Geechi 2-1 because I just think that even when he isn't 100%, he still knows how to create moments in a battle, right? But I mean, 40 historically has a great track record against the men. The issue is in the last year and some change, it hasn't been what we're accustomed to seeing. I have Geechi 2-1. I think he also in the mindset of knowing that he ain't really got that many big matchups left. This is a big card, big match Geechi. He probably wants to make a couple moments here and there. He's gonna be wildly disrespectful. He's gonna be funny. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be surprised if 40 has good material. You know what I'm saying? Her and Chilla have a really great rapport, and she probably wants to do her part and have a good performance. But just going off of recent transactions, I just foresee Geechi, winning the battle. But he has a schedule prior to 40 as well too. I do keep that in mind. But I'm also a person that also thinks that he's conditioned for it as well too. So, but he's gonna put a little bit in the bag, a little bit in the purse. But I think majority of that purse work is going towards 40. So let's talk about that.
So let me back you the rock right quick. Any concerns, fellas, that would you agree that 40 in terms of schedule last year, she had the best schedule in terms of females, right?
I mean, yeah, she booked against a bunch of big names. She signed a lot of contracts. She definitely did that.
But how much did she do with that? Where the point is that she's still not over Hustle, Jazz, or Coffee, in my opinion, for Wody. Am I wrong for that?
The thing is, she did nothing with it. That's kind of why we're having this conversation. I mean, she died in more battles than not. I think some people, her fans, try to call her and Twork debatable. I didn't have her winning that battle. I thought her closer. You know what I mean?
She was good in the battle. She was good. I thought she was good.
Yeah, she was okay. I feel like the thing with 40 at this point is, and she is immensely talented. For me, she's forever a female top 5 in Mount Rushmore. And it really doesn't even matter when she chokes at this point. The work she put in then, I'll kind of never forget. She's been choking more than ever, and that's saying a lot. We're talking about 40 bars. She's not completing her raps over and over and over. She showed up with no rounds versus Sharon. She choked the 2 times, I think, versus Sharon.
Danny Myers recently.
And then the Danny one, she got through 2 rounds where once again I get berated by her fans because they're like, you never speak on the positive. I had it 1-1. She choked in the 3rd. How about she gets all 3 out? You know what I'm saying? I don't want no praise just because you got through enough to be competitive for your fans.
Right.
So she is crazy talented. Then she goes on these runs, and then she tweeted out during the run oh, I'm just doing it for the check. This and that, I'm going to retire. And then you get booked 2 more times. So I don't know what to say about her. I get kind of frustrated with this everlasting circle because she just hasn't been consistent. She used to be fantastic, flawless versus the men. Even when she choked, she never choked versus the
Cortez,
men. Surf, Cortez, Big T, Don.
Yeah,
like big wins. And it just sucks to see that part of her game go away, because that was the one thing where I'm like, at the least, I know 40 doesn't always show up for the other ladies, but when it's the men, she knows it's business, and she's kind of lost that factor. I don't know. I think this prep time has been the same as the rest. So no, you better not choke with no months prep. I don't want to hear anything. But I'm a little worried about both, and not like a friendly aspect, but I'm not expecting it. Another one where I'm not. They're both kind of a flight risk. Like, as much as I talk about 40, you got to talk about how Geechi shows up with the round sold separately for people and freestyles. Like, it's not just a 40 thing.
Yes,
she's bigger. She's the one that we're talking about so heavily because she's been the more criminal with it lately. But the same goes for Geechi. So it sucks that, honestly, they're so talented. It's a top 5 man, top 5 battler ever, top 5 women's battler. There's no reason for it to not be good. But I got Geechi 2-1 in a battle where it's like, like I just think they'll have a little more to work with the angles out on her right now. But the inconsistency goes both ways, and it's definitely not a battle I'm loving. Some of these intergender matchups, I love the ladies, you know what I'm saying? But some of these intergender matchups, I'm not really digging from this card. I'm not going to lie to you.
Lang, can 40 beat Geechi?
She can beat Geechi. Is she, though? I don't know. I just haven't seen a 40. And you're talking about I think both of them didn't have good years last year. If we're keeping it real, I think the reason why we're not I'm not super critical of Geechi's years because he gave you 2 marquee battles with Illmac and Hitman. But
okay.
Surrounding that is a lot of fluff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to keep it real in that aspect. But she can beat Geechi if she's who she's if she lives up to her name or lives up to the career she's had thus far. But I mean, this is one of her worst stretches, and I haven't gotten any reason to think that she's gonna bounce back against Geechi Gotti. So
is Geechi freestyles better than his written sometimes?
No, his I ain't gonna lie, he has rebuttals that hit, but like when he's like outright freestyling,
I feel like a lot of battles. Right? He reminds me of West Coast Clips. Coast Clips, dog. He does the same exact. I swear to God, he does the same exact thing. And his battlers, they remind you of each other in so many different ways in their strengths, but also in their weaknesses. So he has the ability, even versus Marv. Marv ended up winning, but it looked like for a second, like, is Geechi about to like pull this out, like just like figuring it out as he goes?
Yeah.
He gets a lackluster 40. Yeah, because you're fighting against nothing. So I'm gonna take someone that freestyles sloppy over someone that chokes if it comes down to that. If it comes down, there's a round that she chokes. But if she's clean, like the clean all 3, I think Geechi's gonna freestyle around, and I think that she could very much so win the battle. Like, I'm not calling Geechi like stupid confident, like he's just going to destroy her. I think it's kind of irresponsible to do that. But for 2 people that haven't shown me much, like Lang said, he's given me something. The Hitman battle is something. The Illmac win is something. So I got Geechi 2-1, man.
I'm going,
and he's going to at least give you 1 explosive round, though.
That part.
Like, he's either going to fire out all cylinders in the first, or it may be like a weird 1-1 situation, and he just fires off in the third or something like that. So
who you got, 3?
But I got Geechi. But do we trust 40 more than Geechi in terms of writing bars every day and preparing, stressing their brain cells out to get the material on the paper?
Nah, but I don't trust. I don't. But I don't trust either of them that much right now. So it's like I don't know what to say,
I got Geechi 2 on Edge though, man. Edge. I ain't gonna hold you. Next one, fellas. Charlie Clips versus Michael.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. This is where I look like a whole hypocrite, right? A whole hypocrite.
Yes, sir.
Dog, I really got Clips 2-1. I'm sorry, and I really do got. I said it in our group chat. I was like, yo, I might have Clips 2-1. I don't know what it is about Clips, man, and like how
you by yourself, brother. Guys.
Nah, I know because hey, I know it's like literally like we talk about flight. He's one of the biggest flight risks. So I look crazy right now saying this. I understand
the plane crash, man.
Right, but I have to keep it real. I think that Mike P in the past couple of years has done some good work to kind of like refine some of his track record in regards to going against like other talents and whatnot, but is a top tier battler, right? I'm still not sold on him consistently beating top tier battlers, and for some reason, I just feel like Clips is due for one, and he just picks and chooses when he wants to show up. Like last year, it was easy. The year before that, it was Rosenberg, right? So I'm just playing a game of craps, and hopefully I don't crap out. So I got Clips 2-1. You feel me? It's logical to go with Mike P, but I also think that now, granted, Clips didn't show up like he was supposed to against Real Sick in Massacre 6, which was one of the biggest cards. But he may be lying. He lies all the time. But he did say 2025. He heard this last year for Cody. So we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a shot in the dark, but hey, maybe his campaign starts with Mike P.
You stand with your chest out, man. You not
Hey,
even.
I gotta keep it. I shot in the dark. I usually don't do this. Let me have a little fun. All right, guys want a little fun.
You usually don't do this, so I ain't out of it.
So let me have a little fun.
Okay, brother.
Clips 2-1. I wouldn't be mad if I'm pretty sure that Mike P is going to be amped up for this battle. One of the biggest names he's faced so far. Yeah. It's crazy because he's been campaigning for the Rock battle for, I won't say campaigning, but he's wanted the Rock battle for so long. And it's just funny that he ends up going towards the Charlie Clips battle. You know what I'm saying? So he knows what this opportunity means, but again, Clips just knows, like, just shows up just randomly. And I feel like
we gonna say police bars, your wifey was other battle rappers, your women, and
we got one battle rapper showing up with half freestyles, rounds sold separately. The other ones on your platform talk about retiring. Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It look amazing card with a couple of these matches. I could understand being a little bit worried. Yeah, listen, Clips does know when to pick them, and since this is a bigger card, it would be like, oh, if you're good on TBL and make up for it. But I think I'm not going to even say the battles. I don't want to get in trouble. Between what's announced and what's not announced, I think he's got like quite a few battles coming up. And I think I said it. You heard me say in the spaces earlier, 3. The more I see him, the less I like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Clips, like, boom, he's got 5 battles coming up. He's locked in. It's like he's got 5 battles coming up. No, no, like, no. I got Mike winning, and I'm gonna be honest. Mike. First of all, 2-minute hard cutoffs for everything but the main events and co-main events. It's 4 battles on these cards out of 20.
That made 8 clips. I'm just keeping it real. That made 8 clips.
Nah, if anything, I feel like that aids Mike P. Remember when Mike P did in the Lightwork situation? Sharon, that was some of his best stuff. I feel like he can get to the point a bit quicker. I did not like the Shuni battle. He has looked unmotivated, but if there's any time to get motivated, man, it's your Clips battle on one of the bigger cards of the year. Like you had a stinker versus Shuni. Oh, he won, but a stinker versus Shuni, and then you get booked for a god tier, legend tier, however you want to say Clips is, right? On one of the biggest cards of the year. So I think Mike's
Real Deal was good though, Small. I like him in Real Deal.
He's done really more good than bad over the last couple of years. I think that people thought he's going to leave URL and transcend anything, and that was never going to happen. I just know how the game goes. People don't like URL. But I'd say it's just a matter of fact. Like, he did some good things, but he didn't just become a top tier overnight or anything. And I think he's kind of realizing the grass might not be all the way greener where he went. But I still think he's done more good than bad, so I think he's going to do good in this battle, and I'm not sure how much Clips is going to try. If we're talking about them at their best, I know some people, you just said it earlier, like, I look at every battle like them at 100, but I don't when you don't always come at 100, especially if I know that you're known for that. He's a ton of battles coming up. Somebody is going to get the nothingness, and Mike might get a little bit of that. So I got Mike 2-1. I would love a vintage Clips performance. I would love a vintage.
Yes.
Like the easy battle or something, that would be cool. I can't bet on that, man.
I'm glad you said that, because I think the consensus sometimes when I hear me, you and Lang talking about Charlie Clips, right? People act like we don't want Charlie Clips to do good. Yes, we want Charlie Clips to do good. You're talking to
right.
I think he's the third best battle rapper. I think he's the 3rd best battle rapper of all time. All the mess ups and everything aside, nobody has the collection of wins that he has. His prime in the early 2010s is probably the best version of any battle rapper ever. He's an entertainer. He's taking it beyond the sport. Even when he's at 70, 60%, he's still giving fights to like Briz and Ill Will, barely trying. He debatably won those battles. I think Clips, I can't overstate how good I think Clips is at our sport. He is a one of one and one of the best ever. But if he's gonna not give a fuck, like, we're not like dogging him and just be like, we hate you. Like, we're really like, oh, why would I bet or predict my fans? Like, I might bet on this, or I might go with what Smo's saying, and then I got you rolling into a tornado because I told you Charlie Clips is gonna try, and he doesn't for the 10th time. So I'm with you, 3. There's no hate. But Clips fans are like any other nostalgic fans. They're like, no, you forgot. I didn't forget. I actually know too much. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Oh, like, let me ask you a question. If J Black had Cody around 2010, 2011, how
I
many
was ready for this one.
Codys would Clips have, you think, fellas?
You would have one. You would have one.
One? Okay.
2014. That was his best campaign. I think the his overall run from 2011 when he battled Averb up until the Lux and Hollow battles back to back, is what's deemed to be his prime or his apex. But in terms of like a full put together year, 2014 was like his best year. He wouldn't. But like I don't like when battlers lie. You wasn't like Clips wasn't like perfect throughout that entire stretch. He was just immensely dominant during that entire stretch. So you would have won one.
I want to say this to people listening. I had B-Magic beating Charlie Clips. I just want to say that for
there's no that was 2013. That was 2013, but yeah, he definitely beat it. That was actually probably the first time, for those who remember,
Clearly lost in
that
URL.
was the first time he ever truly showed up with like no third. Like that was the first one, as far as I can remember, that started, and then it became a thing.
Lang, next battle, sir. Some people are calling this a weird matchup. I don't want to say Allah Shooting.
I already know what this is.
Miss Hustle versus Real Deal.
Salute to Real Deal. Salute to Miss Hustle. Well, I'm gonna start with Miss Hustle.
Yes, sir.
You got Hitman the week before. So
ouch.
I'm trying to figure out if was this like it's either she knows what she's doing and she has a plan of attack, or I don't know. I just know that, she considers Hitman to be the biggest battle of her career, right? So she's gonna be amped up for that. But then you got Real Deal, who is actually right. Mm-hmm. But he's actually has been pretty good in his last few outings as well, too. So,
like, before you go, they were killing Real Deal today in the space. I'm like, y'all gotta relax a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
That's not exactly
Real Deal,
their flavor of battle rap, man.
So you know
how it is, 3. Like,
chill a little bit.
I understand that Real Deal may like on URL is taking like some weird losses or just flat out losses against the Dices and whatnot, but TBL, I feel like, as Mo mentioned, is going to be a very, very diverse palette, right, of raps, whatever. Like, just think about Houston in general. Like, everybody that, like, if you look at the Gnome cards, all the different people that went out there, all of them were received, like, pleasantly, honestly, regardless of the style that they had, right? So I think that Real Deal is going to take this battle extremely seriously.
Absolutely agree.
I think that he still holds the crown as one of the more proficient anglers in battle rap, right?
Real talk, real shit.
But I will say, Hustle is still in that prototype of being very performative, very, very punch heavy, right? So she can she can garner momentum pretty fast, and but I might have Real Deal 2-1. I'm sorry, I might have Real Deal 2-1, especially because, again, Hustle has Hitman the week before, and she's not a short prep battler. That's just not her. Like she's a month or two, type battler. And I'm not trying to use a 1-rounder as a litmus test as to why I'm feeling the way I feel, but like I don't know because what her and the chess battle and the Shing Prezi battle was like, I want to say a week apart or maybe, and that was only a 1-rounder, right? Yeah, so I can only imagine.
Me too. That's a good ass point. She says that she really she does not like booking battles back to back for that reason.
Right. So that's why I was very, very surprised to see her on this card. And then even outside of that, Real Deal has just been pretty good in these last couple of outings too. So this isn't no walkover. But yeah, I have Real Deal 2-1 actually. Wouldn't be surprised if Hustle wins. I mean, she's also another person that does really good against the men. Like, I had her beating Geechi last year in a really good battle as well too. But I just don't. I just feel like this is ill-advised. I mean, she could prove me wrong. I'll eat crow if she beats both of them. That'll be a huge feat for her.
That's a big feat for her, man. Wow, Hitman.
Yeah,
Real Deal, yo.
Yeah, but Hitman the week before, then Real Deal.
Fire.
And you're not used to doing stuff like that. I got Real Deal
A
2.
lot of prep time though, considering like we're talking about it in early February and they still don't battle till like mid-April. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, and I did have her losing the Hitman when we did the predictions for that. I do have her beating Real Deal though. I'm a little not convinced, but like Lang, I like a lot of the points you made. Like I didn't exactly consider all of that. Although Real Deal's been better recently, but Houston, they love punchers. I know that she's a performer, but like if you look at the base of what she does, she punches. That's what she does. Deal takes a little bit to get into those angles and different things, and I still like that too. But I don't know how much. I just don't know if it's a great matchup for him. Without her being unclean or kind of slipping up, like with her being pretty focused, which I'm still expecting just because it's still months out from when it's going down. I got Hustle 2-1, but it's like I said earlier, bro, and it's no disrespect. Love the ladies, but some of these intergender matchups on this card,
different.
I'm not the biggest fan of because it's a weird matchup. Miss Hustle and Real Deal. You know what I'm saying?
Can a performance overwhelm Real Deal?
I mean, I think that Real Deal, his best asset is being a strategist and being well balanced in other things. But like I mentioned before with A-Ward, right? Sometimes being well balanced just doesn't measure up to someone being explosive on the other end, And I think there's certain highs that Hustle gets or can get to that Real Deal just doesn't really get to often. So I can see a world where like Hustle's more explosive, the punch count is there, more performative, towering over Real Deal. I can see that, but you got Hitman the week before though.
That's crazy. Small, let me ask you, any credence at the fact that for Real Deal's first female batting a female, preparing for a female, can that be different for his writing process? Can I?
Yeah, definitely.
What am I gonna say to this Hustle now?
I get worried. Sometimes he gets a little people are not gonna like that I use this term, but it's like grind timey. Like some of his angles can be a little out there, more of the comedic side, if anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, like I like laughter, but I don't like to laugh too much when I watch rap. You know what I'm saying? Like battle rap, and I just and she's someone that you can joke on, particularly a woman. Just like the angles you could take against a woman, like it's easy for a guy to probably make that into something comedic. But how many times have people fell for that trap and it doesn't work out? So yeah, I'm with you. First time of him battling a female. Hustle really doesn't like cross over to battle many like King of the Dot, other side of battle rap-esque artists often. So it's gonna be weird for both of them.
Yeah.
Not really, there's enough reasons to think it could be a bit of a weird battle. So when it's like that, I feel comfortable taking the better talent. And I think Miss Hustle is like a better talent than Real Deal.
I think Real Deal got some funny jokes though, some funny dry sense of humor and shit.
He makes me laugh here and there, man. I like what Real Deal's got to offer. I respect him more than I think a lot of people properly should. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He's a great angler, but it's a weird matchup. And then the more hundreds of people in the building, not that he hasn't performed in front of stages, he cooked Snow. You know what I'm saying? I think it was the Gramercy when he cooked Snow. But Hustle is built for this. You know what I mean? She's built for 500 people or so.
Lang, talk to me. Next battle, people going crazy. I don't understand the logic. Respectfully, Lou Castro, okay? Chef Trez versus Lou Castro, sir.
Chef Trez 2-1.
Look how easy that was. Chef Trez 2-1 for me also.
Yeah, I got Chef. Could be a 30. He beat Chess, and I know you don't like that 3. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Trez is a better talent. I expect.
And I had Trez beat the Arsenal. Respectfully, I watched that battle 3 times. I never had Arsenal win that battle once.
We'll end up here talking about that battle for 10 minutes. People overlooked. I was lied to so bad.
Yeah, that was a little bit crazy.
It is.
I just can't see. Respectfully, Lou.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying this for a year, about to be going on 2 years now. To beat Trez, you got to go in there and beat Trez. You gotta be outer worldly or just like a best version of yourself to beat Trez. I haven't seen a Lou Castro that can hang with Trez. And Trez is not taking any play lightly. I don't care if it's a small league or on his own league or URL. It don't matter where it's at. He's showing up with 100. He's showing up on 100%. 3 fully clipped rounds with rebuttals to match. So even if you do say something fire, he got some fire to say back about what you said. So yeah.
2-minute rounds too. It makes it super about the bar for bar, and I'll get struck down by lightning before I say Lou hanging with Trez bar for bar. Respectfully, disrespectfully, whatever. It's just life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just think he's a better battle rapper.
So before you go, I want to ask you this question for me. Are you all this conversation about time limits? Are people really going to stick to this 2-minute time limit that we talking
Yeah,
about?
I think, and listen, I want more leagues to do this, man.
Right.
For the sake of footage and replay value. You know why we loved and we watched so many battles back? I know, especially for you three, I know that you've really seen the whole kind of culture come to be what it is. And even me and Lang coming a little later, we both got like a decade plus in the game. So I come from an era of heavy rewatches, but every battle wasn't 50 minutes. Especially lower and mid-tier battles. Love you guys. You play your part in the culture. We do not need to hear no.
Yo, Surfer Young, it was like 21 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yo, and that's what makes it fine. And every once in a while, you get a 50-minute, like Rum and Av ended up 50 minutes. I get it, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these battles, I understand. But it sounds like they're really like when I talked to Chilla, because I want to see if he's being for real. He said, "Yo, we'll give it be a 15 after the 2 minutes. Let you get the last part, but then we're giving you all a hard cutoff. We start at 2 p.m. We want to end at 9 p.m. I believe in them to do that. I want to see the clock. I wish we put the clock back on screen. We need it.
Yeah.
So bad. So I do think that outside of those main events, and I think some of them are going to wrap forever. But some of these, I think they're really going to keep it at 2:15, and I don't think TBL is going to be playing. And I love them. More of that, please.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really quick, that's a good point. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's no reason for a small room battle to be more than like 30 minutes. If I'm like, if a small room battle is 50 minutes, like that, there's no reason for that to be that. But no, I also think that with it being compact, Trez punch count is crazy, and he already raps like very fluently and very fast or whatever. So he can pack so much into like a 2-minute increment. So he just has and Lou Castro slogan, flex, slogan. And he has cool rapping pockets. But
when we talk about this battle, when it comes to Lou, so
yeah, so I don't know.
So, but fellas, what if the three of us come back here and we're eating crow? Because
I ate crow because I didn't think he was going to beat Chess, so I give him credit for that, right? But we're talking about Trez. Like we're talking about.
Well, I know Chess is
Trez.
Exactly. I know Chess winning percentage is what it is, and you know how much of a hard time I give Chess. But I was so disappointed, and I don't even know if there was more disappointment for me to have regarding him. But I was like, oh my god, it was a pretty good Lou, but Chess didn't even choke, nothing, and he just lost. So I mean, if Lou gets a Chess and a Trez win back to back, give him whatever he wants next. Because clearly, I'm a hater. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Give him whatever he wants next, but I just don't see it happening.
Lane, talk to me. Passwords, aka Pass, versus Unus.
Alien Pass earlier, dog.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. I understand. I understand recent transactions and all that. Like, I really do understand. Like, you're only as good as your last performance. But if anyone has like Unus like clearly like dominating Pass, I think you're out of your mind. I'm being for real. I think you're out of your mind. Like, I understand. The last thing you've seen of Pass was him against Twork, and the last thing you've seen of Unus on a major scale was him versus Nitty, right? So if you're doing the logical perspective, it's like, oh well, Unus should go in there. Styles make fights. That's for one. For two, Unus is now going to be put under fire where he's consistently going against veterans and top tiers and stuff like that. I just don't see him walking through Pass. Now, mind you, I have Unus 2-1. I think that Unus is at a point now where he's trying to showcase that he's next up, and with a win over Pass, a clear win at that, it helps build his status up.
Yes.
But I don't see him beating Pass clearly. And I think Pass hears the rumblings behind the Twork battle. And no slight to Unus. Unus is not Twork. We just got to keep it real here. I think that Pass is a person that has really good rapping pockets, and he raps really well. I just think the difference is I think Unus just has better material than Pass in this modern era of battle rap, and I think that's the difference maker there. So I'm going Unus 2-1, but I think that saying anything outside of that is kind of crazy because I don't see Unus just 30 in Pass.
Before you go small, let me just say this, Pass. bro, if you're looking for any motivation, go listen to the spaces that me and Smo was in earlier. If you're looking for any kind of motivation, they was dogging you in there, bro. They was dogging. I'm sitting like, yo, bro, hold on, man. I've been watching passes, grind time. What's up with? Listen, everything you said, dead on. I agree with everything you said. Yes, I got Unus 2-1. I don't got Unus dog walking. Yeah, Unus, I told you that earlier. I don't got you dog walking or password, nigga. You crazy? No, I got Unus 2-1.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'll add, because I got Unus 2-1 as well, I think it's an advantageous matchup just because I think Pass, when he goes up against more like strictly punchline rappers in this era, we're in a puncher's era, is what it is. I think Pass sometimes can get caught. I won't say he's completely not tailored because he'll have stuff going at his opponent, but maybe a little bit gets lost up in the pockets, which he is a better. That's another thing. They said Unus was a better just like rapper, like not just the content, like a better rapper. I thought that was really disrespectful. There's really no other way to put it. Because I think Unus is going to win the battle. I think Unus is going to be really good, but like not giving any credence to what the man has built a legacy off of. But he can struggle to be as direct. I feel like Unus is going to have a little more where you can follow him a bit more. With Pass, he raps so phenomenal that you really got to listen, and sometimes he's taking you along a path, a little bit more creativity, storytelling. Unus is going to punch you in the face, and when he's going to angle, he's going to make it very clear what he's talking about and angle about you. 2-minute rounds, I think, helps Pass a little bit. He's pretty good within those confines, but it's more about no disrespect to Pass. I got Pass getting around. He could easily win this battle. You know what I'm saying? He's very good. He's beaten better. Respectfully, beat JC in Michigan.
K-Shine.
Will, K-Shine, et cetera, et cetera. But Unus, this is a big year for him to ascend. So I'm expecting to take advantage of that opportunity. It's a good bet. One of my favorite battles on day one.
And let me just say this right quick. Mike P, who I interviewed earlier, said if he gets a chance to get back on URL, the first person he wants is Unus. You know what I mean? So that's
nice for Mike on URL. I hope they work that out, man. I still want to see the Rock battle. I want to see Unus. He's got a couple more good joints over there.
Right. Lang, next one, brother. Loso versus J2.
Another interesting battle. I wonder how this and you know what's funny about this battle? Loso was actually one of the first people that hinted towards a major card in April. It was going to be card of the year and whatnot, and he was going to be a part of it. I mean, we kind of guessed that.
Yes.
This wasn't the matchup that I thought about when he was then promoting the card. I'm honestly curious as to how Loso's going to approach this battle because we know he's more of an angle-based battler, right? Like he can do bar for bar, but like we know his strong suit is approaches, and usually when he has his best performances is when he has the best approaches that he, have tailored for his opponent. I think that he probably has, I guess, a lot to pick apart because J2 just recently or last year went against A.W.A.R.R, and the battle just recently released on YouTube. So I don't know if he's up, using the game tapes in that regard. J2 actually, and I got to eat crow here, because J2 actually beat Jerry West just recently, and we were saying that he couldn't hang with him.
Too, you know what I'm saying?
Clearly beat him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna eat some crow and say that like he's already proven me wrong once this year. And honestly, J2 has like this interesting counterwriting thing that he does against Christian battlers, right? When they talk about his sexuality or whatever, like he usually has like this well-crafted counterwritten things that he, uses. I wouldn't be surprised if he uses that in this battle. But nonetheless, I still have Loso 2-1.
Me too.
I still feel like, Loso is still in this weird spot where like he gave you a glimmer of hope in that he's going to rise to that next level with the hoopla behind him taking Rock and Geechi in that same weekend.
I like that.
He didn't build anything outside of that, unfortunately. So I don't know what this year holds for him. But I do think that Loso is probably going to win this battle just off of rapping better. But I can't lie. I mean, J2 is consistently getting better with each battle. So I think it could be competitive, but I can comfortably say I have Loso 2-1.
What you got?
I got J2, man. I got J2, and it's not. I think Loso is a better battle rapper, and they're gonna hate this because even though I got J2, I think Loso is literally better at everything. Like I don't think there's one thing that I just think J2 is better than him at. But I am severely disappointed in Loso's consistency. And the thing is, people only like not everybody watches all battles like us. So like when he bought Rock and Geechi and people doubted him, and I had him going 1-1. I had him losing to Rock still. I agreed with the judges. I know that you had him. But and he definitely beat Geechi. He got robbed. But like I think that's what people focused on. Like, how do you have a bad year when you had that? Yo, like he lost to Your Honor last year.
He did.
What is going on? You know what I'm saying? He lost to Jack Boy, who
you did Loso. You did Loso.
He's lost a ton of these little missions throughout. He lost continuously. So and J2 is more towards those guys than he's a Twork or a Geechi in terms of motivation. So once again, prep time could be wrong. Hopefully we get no chokes, we get no slip ups in anything. But I think Ward too might have watered down a little bit of the approaches he could take. It's a similar in a lot of ways. And Ward just did it like to the best. He killed him. So it's like now you get Loso and J2 does not beat top tiers. However, J2 has done really good on everyone not top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be your Snake Eyes, your Jerry West's,
Prestavia
a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like so he gets busy when he goes against other mid tiers. So I got him to 1 straight puncher too. That's what he does, straight puncher. But puncher, you know what I'm saying? Like so that's like kind of his plan of attack. And that's going to fit within 2 minutes, I think, very well in terms of battle rapping. You know, so
Loso, that's good, man. What we doing, Loso? Loso, what's up, man?
Loso, I wouldn't lose.
Loso to an edge. I don't got my chest out though.
I got J2, but I don't have him clear. Nothing like Loso wins. He really should, but at some point when you keep kind of letting me down, I gotta bet the other way. So,
Lang, welcome back. KCJ versus J Love, the battle of the J's.
Salute to KCJ. Happy to see her back. In the fold. I got KCJ 2-1 clear. No slight to J Love, but KCJ says she's returning with a point to prove, and I think she's going to do just that. Yeah, and it's in Texas. Hello, like you feel me? Like, yeah, nah, that might go to a diplomatic 3-0. Now that I think about it, so
KCJ with 30. Respectfully, J Love, I love you, mama. I got KC with 30.
J Love's been a little better last year, but not only is KCJ just better, it's in Texas. I got KCJ.
Yeah,
I don't want to like OD because I don't want to, but it's a mismatch in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, are we shocked that Casey's first battle back will be J Love? Were you guys shocked to see that match?
Well, she got another battle.
March 9th. She got a. They didn't announce the opponent yet.
They haven't announced her opponent.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's a little
So it won't be her first battle back. But I think that she's collecting some checks. You know, so I'm very understanding. I think she's taking them out.
All right, fellas. Last match of day one. Lang. Capo Bravado versus Snake.
This is your battle of the night, right?
Nah, this is
I ain't even getting the space. 3 Letterman called me in. I heard that. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Nah, I ain't gonna front. There is a core audience that's very excited for this battle, though. If we keeping it real, because I think promotion wise, just both of these guys, like the trajectory wise, is
Reset in this me in the corner.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Man, who do I have winning?
I'll tell you why in a minute why I'm excited for this one, though.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know who I have winning.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm about to say I don't know who I have winning because this could go either way.
I don't see how. Listen, Capo, I think you nice. I'm not saying Snake is the greatest battle rapper. He got Rum Nitty, he got to do it, right? And obviously, we can say his focus is going to be Rum Nitty, right?
That's
Lang put me on last night. I didn't even know till Lang said it. And I heard some of them talking about it earlier today.
The text battle.
The text battle's not here no more, right?
Yeah.
How do we feel about that? Smo that he's not battling text. Now the Nitty and Capo, Nitty really is the focus, respectfully. Let's be honest. And even as the focus, I don't got him beating on Rum Nitty, right? Respectfully. But I don't think Nitty. The only thing about Capo is this: we keep talking about him battling people that chokes in front of him. For what you say about Snake Eyes, he don't be choking in battles.
Snake Eyes don't joke, and he's been winning at this level. If he's battling someone's under him or at a mid-tier level,
Right.
He's been getting a few more W's on the board. I'll call it what it is. It is funny that the ticket seller of all ticket sellers battle got canceled. Nobody fucking knew. This is a different story for another time. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's got a lot of time between the Nitty battle and this one. I think he is gonna. And yo, I ain't gonna lie, he was talking to Capo stupid greasy today. Like I had Capo too on edge. I heard him talking. I'm like, Snake is talking like someone.
He was talking crazy, man.
But that's how he gets people, though. Right.
He does, though.
It's gonna sound funny if I predicted Capo like 6 hours ago and I take Snake now, but I do think it's a pick 'em like that. I don't think it's crazy to take Snake. I'm gonna stick, for the sake of being continuous, I'm gonna stick with Capo 2-1. But if Snake wins, he probably should. I wouldn't be surprised. But then I watched him take L's to like Profilini last year out of nowhere, you know. But bigger card though, so you would hope that he's a little bit more like locked in for this than he is those. Much bigger, different situation. But I think Capo's starting to like find his way, and I know who Snake is. Doesn't matter how much I know what type of battler he is, and at least with Capo. I'm not exactly the biggest Capo fan, but I know that he's still got a little bit of ceiling to hit. I mean, look at the Jazz battle. I had him losing, and they killed me for that. Like, it was crazy.
How'd y'all feel about Capo and Jazz? How'd you guys feel about the battle?
I thought he lost, but I thought he like put up a fight.
Yeah, good moments.
I think they're tripping saying he won. I get it, and he put it on his
You ain't beat no Jazz, Capo. He lying to you, Capo.
He fought well. He might have gotten around. He might have gotten that first round. He lost the other two, but I thought he was at least competitive. Like, he ain't go in there and die, nothing like that. Very respectable performance. I just didn't have him winning. So you would figure if you've been battling at that level, turn around and get a win versus Snake Eyes. But this battle, I'm sure, got booked for reasons not just to do with raps. These guys are not going to shut up for 3 months, and that is going to help build up the card, which is why they're opening as well. So, but if Snake Eyes wins, it's not one of those where I'm like, oh, I'm super against Snake.
Right.
He should be the favorite in this battle, and if he wins, definitely a good W. It adds to, he's been winning a bit more. You know, I give him a hard time, but he's been winning a bit more. So I'll understand if he takes the W in this one.
Yeah, man, like I don't know who I got winning, but it's tough because to Smo's point, like Snake Eyes does really good against people that's a little bit below him or maybe on the same tier.
Right.
But say what you will, because I think context is everything. Capo got a couple wins against top tier opponents, at least. You know what I'm saying? Here and there.
That's not even the internet no more. You set up
right.
That shit up earlier, by the way. You know it's not on, they took it down, but they're not best performances, but they're W's. I agree with you. Right?
Nah, but like Suge, you know what I'm saying, as well too. So, but yeah, Snake is mad confident. Like, I'm on Capo 2-1. I was gonna go Snake, but I think that. One thing I noticed about Snake Eyes is that he starts off hot, and then that second and third, the energy just like he still has it, but like the content is because I think the energy carries him through like his first round. So a lot of what he's saying is amplified, but that second and third doesn't really measure up with with what he brought in the first. So I think Capo is gonna edge the battle.
All right. That's day one card. Let's go day two. Smo, set me off. Somebody that you rock with heavy, sir. Rum Nitty versus Daylyt. Let's get to it, fellas.
Yeah, this is going to be the best battle of the weekend. We do not use this word often here, but it is on Classic Watch. I'm not going to straight out predict it, but it has every reason. I think they had like 6 months plus prep, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Houston, very receptive to B.A.R.S itself. I think it's going to be incredible. I have so many thoughts that I'm going to talk about this battle so much before but I'm definitely like very confidently picking Nitty 2-1. And I know it's the return of Daylyt. I know he hypnotizes people a bit. I think Jack Boy made such a good point where the power of what Daylyt does isn't necessarily just the wordplay. I mean, he's a barsmith. He's created all types of great bars for us, but he schemes a lot and he raps better, and when you get to just rap through it like he did the Rock performance, 7 minutes uninterrupted, you're catching this saying as he says this saying one by one. it makes it like almost overwhelming. But when he had a performance like that, he was in front of Smack in a light, very similar to the one that's shining down here. No goddamn people in that room. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that he hasn't had great performances with people in the room too. But I've seen Daylyt, like any other top tier, win battles. I've seen him lose battles, not just the ones that he has antics in. I've seen him rap versus O-Red and Loso and other pens, and he just I just don't.
That Loso winning RBE.
Daylyt at his best is absolutely incredible. I'm not mad at anyone picking Daylyt, but there's almost been like this, like people think he's unbeatable when he shows up and tries, and that's just not the case. The guy can be beat. I think he's going to be immaculate. I would even say this goes more to a preferential battle because I don't think either will be too angle based. It's going to be someone that's more about the schemes and kind of like true pen battle rap versus someone that's about haymakers and punches. And I cannot wait to see what this looks like. But I am going Nitty 2-1. I just think Houston favors punching heavily. And if you give Nitty anything more than 3 months prep, I don't bet against Nitty often. I never bet against Nitty when we're talking about this amount of prep time. So I got Nitty 2-1, but like I said, I'm not mad at anyone that has Daylyt, and I can't wait to see this dog.
So let me ask you one real quick. Are you any concerns about Daylyt rapping long?
That's what he's gonna do. It's not. There's no concern. There's gonna be 8-9 minute rounds. You know, that's what
But we've seen Rum Nitty stick to time limits a lot, though.
Yeah, I think he'll rap a little bit over, though. I think this would be more in the Lux bet. Okay. It's funny, he rapped a little bit over versus Lux, and Lux still had 3 8-minute rounds. We know what happens versus Nitty. People rap double this time, and it is what it is. But it's not anything that's going to change for this battle, and it shouldn't. And honestly, this is the one thing when it comes to matchups like this, like the Lux one too, you didn't hear me talk about time because, like, Nitty, maybe you should rap for 8 minutes too, dog. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if these are the matchups you've been talking about you want for years and this and that, maybe you go and match. You think an 8-minute Daylyt round is good. Have we ever seen an 8-minute Rum Nitty round? Like three second rounds versus K-Shine? If you're going to talk this shit and get these types of matchups, then match them back on this one. You know what I mean? But I cannot wait to see what both of them do. I'm expecting near perfection from them from a rapping standpoint. And it's a battle that, you know, I'm kind of on the Nitty side of things, so I'm going to talk a little bit heavy, but I have I can't overstate the amount of respect I have for Daylyt in this regard as well. And I'm just expecting the show.
All right. What you got, Lane?
Damn. This battle is, you know what's crazy? Nitty or Daylyt called out Nitty against Tay-Rock, and then very next year Nitty calls out Daylyt. I'm thinking it's like one of those mystical things that wouldn't happen. Like when they announced this battle, bruh, like this shit is crazy. And I'm also thinking about how like on Nitty's end, like he's just collecting those infinity stones of all the top pins that we revere. You know what I'm saying? The Illmacs, the Chillas, the Luxes, the Daylyts. I think it's intentional, and I think that he's trying to transcend outside of just being the punchline goat. I think he's trying to be the overall best pin in battle rap, generally speaking. With Daylyt, this is the perfect opponent for him to take coming back. I honestly think that Lux would be another one too. But I'm saying like for this type of event, Nitty's the perfect person to take coming back. I do worry about Daylyt a little bit because, to Smo's point, right, a lot more people. He also has this thing where he can't really balance being super lyrical and not being serious, because I feel like against King Los, like his first round, fire. Second and third, he kind of took his foot off the gas or whatever. I think he kind of knew that's because it was King Los, so he didn't have to go all in.
Right.
But I think that Nitty is not only going to be the best version of himself, but he's going to add other dimensions of the pin that he kind of added against Lux. I have Nitty 2-1.
Agree.
I wouldn't be surprised because I know the type of writer Daylyt is, and I kind of know the type of following he has. I wouldn't be surprised if Daylyt wins like 70% on YouTube because he just has that type of fan base. But
I'm going to touch your wisdom. But are you concerned at all about Nitty, the Daylyt not being direct more than Nitty though? I have a little bit concerned about that.
Well, I think that Daylyt is going to have A lot of addressing to do, right? Like I think he always raps with a what's the phrase that he used? He raps through his opponent sometimes. Like he has a broader topic he's trying to touch on, and sometimes his opponent is just set to the side as he's going off. And some people like that. Some people, sometimes the rules change for certain battlers, and we're keeping it real. Like any other time, directness matters, but when it's Daylyt, sometimes it transcends just regular battle rap rules. But I think the thing is though, is that to Smoke's point, it's probably preferential. But the thing is, I feel like Nitty is going to add some of those same elements that Daylyt has too. He's going to do a couple mini schemes. He's going to do a couple like flow pockets and rapping pockets and stuff like that too. And on top of that, Daylyt has one of the best pins in battle rap, but no one can land a haymaker like Nitty can. And then after a while of just constantly landing and landing and landing, I don't know. And on top of that, right, I agree with Smo in that when it's a mass audience and Daylyt can't rap through his stuff fluently, it throws him off. And then on top of that, right, when you have more of that intricate layered material or whatever, say what you will for the watch back, but in that particular moment, if you're not like Daylyt could be the most, don't stop me. But at the end of the day, when you're watching your opponent getting cheers every other bar, and they didn't catch what you said, and you did like an 8-bar scheme, it messes with your psyche a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you: Can Nitty win in the building and Daylyt win on cam?
No, that's what I said. I said there's a world where Daylight's probably going to win like the 70% vote on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like that very well could happen. I just think we're going to see a crazy ass Nitty in this battle because realistically, after the Lux battle, Nitty doesn't really have that many like major battles left.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, right, the tension and the pageantry that Daylyt is bringing with his TDE affiliation, Nitty knows what this means. Yes, and Nitty knows who's going to be watching. And Nitty's also a person, that that aspires to, make great music. And he's been making music for quite some time. He's not just those battle rappers that just battle and don't make music too. So he's using this as an opportunity to show his ass, and he's going to do that. I feel like he's going to be
crazy,
incredible.
He about to have some crazy light flips and day flips.
The day flips and the light flip, Quill, Spawn.
He about to have some shit we never heard before.
I think Lang, to one point before we move on to the next battle, I think he'll be direct. I think he learned from the Lux battle. I think his third versus Lux is great stuff. It just shows he has that ability to angle if he tries, and with Daylyt, pick an angle. So
yeah.
Smoke, stay with me. Illmac versus Real Sick.
My second favorite battle on the card. Nitty and Daylyt, and then I love Real Sick versus Illmac. Competitive grudge, right? Because I don't think that they got the real smoke that Sick was like. But I think it's just straight up, and I think this matchup, like I've said a few times before, it's going to emphasize both of their strengths. So it's going to be multis, it's going to be angles, you know what I'm saying? Like pure rap, MCing in that regard, right? And there's been a lot of doubt for Illmac recently, understandably, coming off of a couple losses. But if he gets in that bag like he was for Rum Nitty, I think that he can beat, because, as respect to Real Sick, he's very good. I don't think he's a Rum Nitty, right? So if you bring that level of surgical and different approaches and different things, I definitely think he has the ability to beat Real Sick, but I got to bet on what Sick has done recently. He's looked a little bit better. And I just think it's his time. It's a matchup that he's been seeking out. The guy says he wants to battle Rock, Nitty, who he battled, and Illmac. He said it over and over, and we happen to know he definitely just wants to battle those guys. Sometimes it actually aggravates me.
I want you to battle Sharon also, Real Sick.
Yeah. I want to battle Sharon. I want to battle those guys. I want to battle a lot of people that he keeps finding reasons. It feels like not to battle. But he's also been incredible. So you get to call your own shots when you keep winning, and that's what he's been doing for a couple of years now. So I'm excited to see what he does. I have him 2-1 edge. They are going to rap forever. They're gonna rap forever, but it's a matchup that's definitely worthwhile. The way it's been built up skill wise, so I'm going Sick 2-1 edge. But you can almost talk yourself into the ground with ones that are this good, like Nitty and Light and Illmac and Sick, because there's so many details, so many things that go into it. But another one that I think has high battle, one of the best battles of the year type of potential.
Lang, I spoke to Real Sick last week. He said he's gonna be Illmac's worst nightmare. Sir, talk to me.
He probably feels that way because M.C.C.O.D.Y is a hybrid. I think that M.C.C.O.D.Y incorporates a lot of different things as a battler. I think he is good at angling, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is amazing at rapping and multis, right, too. But when he gets into his back-to-back puncher back, he can do that as well too. And he has aggression, and he has presence, and he has humor as well too. So he provides a lot of different things as a battler, right? But you can't really count Illmac out, especially in battles where he's considered the underdog, right? Because he was an underdog against BK, and we've seen what that battle was.
Yeah, it's fact.
I feel like he was a slight underdog against Rum Nitty, and I feel like he gave you a great performance in that too.
That's Illmac, yes.
It's just tough because I do think environment matters as well too. Okay. If this is a bigger environment, I think that M.C.C.O.D.Y has more of an explosive style and a little bit more multifaceted in the way of which he can interact with the crowd too. But if there's anybody that could beat M.C.C.O.D.Y, it is Illmac, because I do think that he has a great way of breaking down an opponent, making you look at an opponent differently. But this is a must-win for M.C.C.O.D.Y because out of all the battles that he's like wanted, campaigned for, this is the one that he's campaigned for the hardest out of all the battles. Like almost to the point where just like, okay, he's talking like real greasy about Illmac right now. So he can't really lose this battle. I honestly think that it's borderline a must-win for real M.C.C.O.D.Y. Honestly. But I just don't know if Illmac can match M.C.C.O.D.Y when it comes to just all the pockets that M.C.C.O.D.Y gets in.
Full pockets,
so
syllables and all that.
I got M.C.C.O.D.Y 2-1, but edge, because I feel like Illmac knows what type of battle this is. Illmac is a legend for a reason. And typically in these type of matchups, like, it's preferential, and Illmac knows how to do what he does to the best of his ability to make it a good look for him. And I feel like he studies M.C.C.O.D.Y enough to kind of have a couple approaches that some people may not have taken.
You know he's
against
gonna crack on the way M.C.C.O.D.Y raps and shit. You know he's gonna slap on the way. He's gonna have some jokes getting that M.C.C.O.D.Y.
But low key, but you know what's crazy? That part of it too. But Illmac does, like, he knows how to like little bro people a little bit. Like when it comes to accolades, when it comes to like comparing my career to yours, how like, you know, like he knows how to little bro people or whatever. Like he knows how to frame that perfectly.
Like some people were saying Illmac 30 in the space, and I was like, wow.
I don't have Illmac 30. I think that's off of the respect people have for Illmac. But I got real M.C.C.O.D.Y 2-1.
Me too. I
got real M.C.C.O.D.Y 2-1. Yeah.
Smo, talk to me. Chilla Jones versus the Island God. Hey, bro. Captain Marketable VZ. Whatever.
Mister, I'm out of here forever, and you're back. You need a check or something? Listen, I definitely think, and we spoke on it earlier. 2-minute 2:15 already cut off, right? I think that's big for Verb.
Yeah,
that's what makes this a matchup where if people got some confidence in Verb, I can't be mad. That's where he's going to excel, and he's rapping 2 minutes either way, and it limits what his opponent can do against him. Still got Chilla Jones 2-1. Battle was supposed to happen forever ago. It was like 2015. They almost got both. It was going to be Verb and Chilla, and I think Chilla always has the utmost respect when he goes up against other writers. And this one is as simple for me as Verb doesn't rap very much about the guy in front of him. And I think Chilla is going to very directly and has so many things that he could say to Verb. Even in a 2 minute, you could almost have an angle for each round. You could just First round this, second round you were trying to call the police on Hitman, third round, you know what I'm saying, you're backing out of battles and doing bad business. There's so many different things to attack this guy for, and I think Chilla is going to do a much better job of being direct about it. But it's one of those that there's not enough time for it to be like a blowout 3-0. Like I'm not going to come up here and like overrule,
right.
smoke Verb. Like I don't think that's going to happen whatsoever. I think Verb will actually be pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? If he's back around, it probably means because he needs to be back around. So I'm sure that he's going to take advantage of that and be pretty good. But just too much dirt on him. And I just think Chilla's a little bit better right now anyways. So
I don't think Verb is that direct, and to Smoke's points though, sometimes Verb goes into chambers and bars about I'm a warrior with a spear, and he'll do all this other
he told Swamp, I'm a Geico gecko, relaxed lizard, I'm a rhino with raps. The fuck
nah, he for sure gonna have a pit bull bar as well soon.
Pigeons. Like
but
come on, man. Like,
he loves imagery and he loves his idioms. Too bad sometimes the idioms don't make sense, but I got Chilla 2-1. But my thing is like I think Chilla needs to be great in this battle though. I had this critique for quite some for the past couple battles. I feel like we haven't gotten a great Chilla in quite some time. Like he's given us good clashes where like, you know, where he's solid bar for bar, then gives you like a really great round or whatever. Or, you know, he has battles that age better for him on the watch back. But I need to see a great Chilla performance. And what better time to do that against a guy that was little boying you years ago, a guy that said you were beneath him, against a guy that you can now say I booked you to battle now. You know what I'm saying? So
shit on Chilla Jones back in 2015.
Yes. So and for me personally, I think the reason why I'm hypercritical or now is because like, you know, the old Red battle, I thought he was going to be way better in that battle than what he was. You know what I'm saying? And that was built up. Right. And that was built up. The Rex battle, you kind of let Rex have his career renaissance against you. You know what I'm saying? I need to see a great Chilla. I appreciate what he's doing for the culture with this event. You know what I'm saying? I won't take that away from him. But in this battle where you have all this stuff to your disposal, you've molded yourself into a battler that not just is great bar for bar wise, but you're actually a pretty good angler as well too. There's no reason why he shouldn't win this battle. Okay. If we're being 100% honest. So, and hopefully he understands that, and hopefully he writes with that same venom he was writing with in 2015, 2016. I got Chilla 2-1, but I want to see a really good Chilla. I don't want to see just a run-of-the-mill breeze by, especially with it being 2 minute flat. Because I felt like in the Rex battle, he just rapped enough to kind of get through his time limit. It didn't feel like he cut himself short before anyone else got a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I got Chilla 2-1.
Smoke, talk to me. Jay the Nightwing versus Ill Will.
I love this battle.
Great battle.
Great booking. And hopefully, I think the downfall of Ill Will has been a little overstated because speaking of Verb, actually a pretty good Verb in that battle. I had Will beating Verb. I had Will beating Bill, and I don't think that was just some like ass off where he just wasn't good. He choked in the first, but I love his second and third. You know what I mean? But he lost to K.
Jerome.
He lost to Sharon, even though he was good that too, but he got 30'd. He got smoked by Easy. You know what I mean? So like, there's been
that loss still bothers me, fellas.
Yeah,
that's a historic loss. You know what I mean? Like there's some that count a little bit more for the record, and like that's one of those that goes up there. That goes with the Rock battle and the DNA battle. You know what I mean? Like it goes like that. So, but I think Ill Will's gonna be really good. But I think this is Jay the Nightwing's second win to prove why he's a top tier talent. And he should have been there. If he didn't choke versus Ab, he would have beat Ab on known pretty clear. There's so many things I love. He's a refreshing style. He's one of one. He raps he's like Head Ice with a pen, which is like crazy to think about. You know what I mean? Like he's so good, but it's time for him to go prove that versus more top tier competition. He's already got the best battle of the year so far with Sheeta Happens. I don't think he's have that much longer. There's a lot of big matchups coming out. But
he's not battling anybody till April with Ill Will. Jay the Nightwing has nobody till April.
Yeah, he's got nothing booked yet. But I think he is going to be. really, really good. I think he's gonna have his philosophical, the
I got him
world,
beating Ill Will, Smoke.
in the third round. So I got Jay the Nightwing 2-1. But I got Ill Will being great. I have this battle being so good.
You got to be great.
Well, I think it's going to be great. I think they've had it's been booked since 2024.
I got concerns about Ill Will, Smoke. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
I know, but I feel like he's given being like there's teams that like if they're 500 and they have bigger expectations, it's not good. But then there's some teams that if they're 500 and they're supposed to be ass, you're like, okay, they're fighting. I understand with Will, it's like, all right, he's supposed to be one of the best. So when he gives you some good and some bad, it's really supposed to be mostly good. But I ain't going to act like he isn't given some good in there too. You know what I mean? So I think this is it. I'll put it like this. I understand the reserves because he himself has said that he's losing motivation a little, but I do think if there's a battle for him to be good in, I think a guy like Jay, the matchup will bring some creativity out of him. And I think it's going to be a good, not a drop dead 10 out of 10 Ill Will. You're going to get a good Ill Will. And I think Jay the Nightwing's going to be great. So great to good. I still got Jay, but I got both of them cooking.
Go ahead with your Midwest brother, man. Go ahead, man.
Nah, I mean, I can echo the same sentiments. I got Jay 2-1. I feel like, to that point, I feel like Ill Will has been he shelled himself. Just different energy. Yeah. Like even when he is good, it's still feel like something's like the Sharon performance. It's like I recently like rewatched it and I was like, he's good, but there's something missing. Like the same venom that he had for Verb and Hitman, that was just he was out of worldly in that one. Yes. But like the same venom he had for Verb, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to figure out what transpired between then and now. But I have Jay 2-1. I think that Jay, since he, you know what I'm saying, had his return in 2023, has just been exceptional. He fine-tuned all the things that we liked about him and made it even more of a weapon, right? The pacing, the variation of flows, the philosophical theme that JSMO alluded to, but also just the creative approaches, being able to angle, but also there's pockets where he can chain punch if he wants to or whatever. I said that he's like the reason why I love this battle is because I feel like both of these guys are chameleons to a degree. They adapt to their environment and adapt to the battle. Like Ill Will back in the day, like he was extremely pin heavy against Daylyt. And that was one of my favorite performances from Ill Will. Jay the Nightwing, anytime Jay the Nightwing goes against somebody, it's a style clash because of how different he is in comparison to his opponent. So I love this battle because they're both multifaceted. You mentioned that Ill Will's one of the most diverse battlers in battle rap, right?
Always, he is, man.
So you would hope that this battle would spark something in Ill Will.
I hope so.
You know, because otherwise he might get outclassed, and I think that, yeah, and then also, you know, she alluded to
it. Go in there bullshit if you want to with Jay the Nightwing. Go in bullshit.
He alluded in the Sheed battle that he wants his Cody campaign. We don't hear 100 battlers say they want a Cody campaign in 2025. That's just going to be a general theme. But I genuinely think that Jay is serious. I think that when Jay was set out to get that money for UM1, even though he didn't win it, but like when he said that money is mine, he literally went on a whole run towards the finals. And even after that, you know what I'm saying, handle his business. And I feel like if Jay is really setting his mind on having one of his best years, you could see him having a legendary performance or a great performance against the Ill Will. But I have Jay the Nightwing 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if Ill Will is explosive. Houston crowd, you know, they like the comedy, but they also like the back-to-back punching as well too. So when he gets in that bar for bar bag and he gets going, it's very hard for you to slow him down. But I got Jay 2-1. You know, recent transaction plays a role, motivation plays a role, and it's kind of hard to get your groove back against a guy that, you know, is looking to have his best year of his career. So,
bro, talk to me. Official versus Shaira.
She gonna cook that girl, man. I got official 2-1, if not 3-0. A lot of things working against Chirac here, and she's had some good battles recently. And it's so funny. I know she got personal with us when we didn't have her on our top 10 for the ladies. And what's funny is we were really some of her biggest advocates over at LTBR in 2023. I thought she was underrated. I thought she beat Casey.
Yeah.
Yes.
But she's beaten a bunch of other top women. I thought that was when she got voted top 6 for Wody. That was the year. And I think the Yoshi performance just got seen by a lot of people. So they're like, oh, this is actually the year that she broke out. And she did smoke Yoshi, but she also lost to Zan, Deer Summer, Jerry West. She did have good first, but she lost the last 2. She just has been choking. She's just been choking. That's the only thing holding her back. Because she is fire. I love Chirac's style. I think she's very, very good, but she has struggled so much to be clean. And I can't speak on the Charlie Clips battle. I think she battled Clips already this year. She might have had a slip up in that one too.
She told me she did. She told me she did today. I interviewed her today. She told me she messed up in that.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? You got to get it together. You can be so talented, but if you can't get the rounds out, you're not getting the talent out there to us. And then you got Official, who's looked as good as she's looked in years. 500 people. Official has way more experience with that than you.
She got Shuni a month before that, though, Smo.
Chirac, right?
Chirac, yeah. She got Shuni, then
it's all the call marks of someone that's been stumbling and choking, now is getting better and better opponents, hasn't stopped the choking, and these Shuni and Official have looked as consistent as they've looked in years. So everything in the world is pointing towards Official winning that battle. I got respect for Chirac, though. She shows up on big cards. That's why the Yoshi battle is so much louder than all those other L's. So I think she'll be good. I think she'll get around, but I gotta go Official, man. It's everything, inconsistencies plus who's better at their best. I think with respect to Chirac, we'd all say Official.
So you're 1-1 against the Kardashians. I don't know what you're gonna do to find a boss here.
Yeah, beating Casey is a big win. I hate to see. I don't want her to feel like she started getting the top tier plates. Don't lose your hunger now, because you really can. Yeah. You got all the things to say about us, whatever. I still think the girl can be a star.
You getting plates, Chirac. You can't say Chirac. You can't say you're not getting plates, Chirac. You getting plates. Yeah.
I'm with you.
What you got, Lang?
Yeah, Official 2-1. It's funny because I think I mentioned this to you off camera. I was like, the people this would be like her facing all the Kardashians, right? And it's literally like the same outlay of Vixen. Vixen battled KCJ, won. Then she battled Jazz after that, lost on a big stage, and then she battles Official. And honestly, I think it's funny how it lines up. I honestly think that her and Official may be a good battle, but I think Official will ultimately end up winning the battle, though. More seasoned,
right?
Rejuvenated, because I think last year she was actually pretty good. Outside of the T-top battle, she was pretty good. So, but yeah, I got Official 2-1. Clear.
Small Official can't lose this battle, right?
I mean, she's looked good too, bro. You know what I mean? Her and Vixen, I ended up having her winning on the playback. It's debatable, but that might be the best female battle of the year. She beat Loso. She beat Big Ice. T-top was a slip up, but this is no T-top. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you got to say? So, super favorite, way more seasoned. I'm pretty confident in this Official pick.
Lang, talk to me. We got Julian Carter, JC, versus one of the most underrated guys, in my opinion, Madflex.
Yeah, respects to Madflex, respect to JC. JC had a really good year last year. That won't go missed by any of the panelists this year. I'm just speaking. I'm just speaking, clearly here. I got JC 2-1 in a really good battle.
Very good battle.
I think that a lot of Madflex's strong suits, with the flow pockets, is going to help him. But I think Madflex does a really good job of angling and breaking people down, and JC has also built quite the arsenal in doing that the same way as well too. I think the difference is I feel like JC is a little bit more potent in the bar for bar realm as well too. So you add that dimension to it, and he just has a great track record against mid tiers. You know what I'm saying? So, I really like the battle.
Me too.
I think that it's going to be one of those battles where it can be kind of slept on because of the cloud of other great battles around it. But real ones that know the game know this is probably going to be a good battle. But ultimately, I think it's going to be JC 2-1 at the end.
I completely agree with what Lang said. I'm going JC2-1. Madflex is known for, I feel like he produces a lot of good battles. He's not on the winning side of it. He just knows how to make a fight, and he brings the best out of other writers, like he did in Nightwing recently versus Holmesy, and I think he's going to do the same with JC, who seems to be back on track. The Surf loss knocked him off for a year or two, and now it seems like, between Bad News, Klutz, Bill Collector, like there's a lot. He's back where Unus, he's back where he's supposed to be, right? How can I forget that clear win over Holland Don? So I think that it's gonna be JC2-1. No battle of the night, but when we're done and we're saying what's the top 10, top 7 battles of the weekend, he's gonna fit perfectly in there in that 7 to 10 range. Or I should say they are, but I got JC winning.
And everything Lang said, both you guys said, I agree with. I think there's a battle. After you watch this battle, we're gonna be like, yo, that was a good battle right there.
It's gonna add to the card. That's the most simplest way to put it, is it's gonna add to the card.
Yes, great point. It's gonna add to the card. I agree with this, man. Lang, talk to me for us old head fans. Danny Myers versus Quest McCody for the old heads, man. Talk to me, sir.
I can see this battle going in the same direction as Quest and Av and Quest and Nitty, where Quest is rapping really good, but there's just a certain level shown. Yeah, that's pretty much how I want to sum it up. I think Danny's going to win this 2-1. Coming off of the year he had last year, I'm kind of hoping that he, tightens up. You know what I'm saying?
That was not a good 2024, my dude.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so. But hopefully hopefully he and truthfully, I mean, the last time he was on a TBL affiliated card, he had one of his better performances against Elijah Straight. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was one of his better performances last year.
Did you have Danny
Edge? But I have to. But it's debatable though.
Okay,
it's debatable. But I have Danny 2-1. Edge. I think Quest is probably going to take the first clear, but then Danny's probably going to take the last two. Just Quest usually starts off hot in those battles against the Avs and all those guys. So
yeah, I feel very similar. I think Quest is always good to get around. I think you got the second versus Av. I think he got the second versus Nitty. I think he was Fire versus Nitty too. But it's the same way where I just feel like they still outpaced him and went on to win 2 rounds of the battle. I think it's going to be similar, a little bit easier to get a win than those versus Danny than those two, in my opinion, at this point. But 2-minute rounds, straight to the point. I feel like Quest is more of a pen that takes a little bit of time to work up to the point, and Danny can just what I'm saying? It's like the not Pez dispenser, but little punch machines. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm confident with him giving this 500 people. Feel like he's a little more experienced in front of that many people. If it goes up to that, that's what I heard them say loosely in the beginning. Who knows if it'll actually be 500, but that's how the league told me that. So I'm gonna go, I'm running with that. And I think Danny's got it. It's just a little more advantageous for him. And this would be a time to have a good performance. I personally had him losing to Elijah, but I think that the majority had him winning. So there's my take, but then I'm fair enough to say, hey, listen, this is what the consensus had. And it could play out somewhat similar, but it's another one like JC and Flex, maybe not to the same level. I think it'll add to the card for sure.
Lang, does Danny get chastised badly, fellas, if he loses the Quest? Respectfully, what I said about Quest.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's at a point. It's at a point now where he takes random losses enough to where people be like, oh well, he shouldn't have lost that, but whatever.
Yeah, he'll get slandered the way he does any battle it does when they lose. But I mean, guy lost to MLANG. We're not gonna.
That's true, Danny. Oh man,
at home.
That MLANG loss was wild to me last year.
And not acting like MLANG is trash, but you have no business.
She was wilding him up though.
No business losing to MLANG, man. So if you're gonna go and do that,
still
anything's on the table,
Yeah, still one of the biggest upsets of last year, and I still can't.
Shorty, we're gonna be Quest airing small talk. Am I sure Danny Myers gonna beat this man?
Well, I think Danny Myers not known to have back-to-back bad years. So I think that he for sure will bounce back this year. I've seen a couple of flyers that he's been on, but he hasn't really been out here like that.
Fact.
So Yeah, and then I think he had an interview, I want to say not too long ago, where he was saying like 2024, 2025, he's slowing down the pace a little bit. We'll see how true that is, but
I'm glad he said the last part. I'm glad he said the last part. Let's see how true that is.
yeah, we'll see how true it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, Danny loves battle rap, and Danny likes to battle everybody. But it's funny because as much as Smo has said there's no such thing as running out of matchups, but for Danny though, in terms of like
he might for real be running out of matchups.
No, like for Danny though, I'm like even like
big like iron and like, you know what I mean. So it's a tough situation for him.
Yeah, he's at a weird spot because he's already given like the rising stars that that they're trying to push forward next. He's given Authentic a shot. He's given. I mean, the only other shot he hasn't given yet is Unus, but like the Authentic, Klutz last year. You know what I'm saying? So like even like Sheed is a Flair the year before that. So he's given shots already too. So even like those type of battles that we're excited for, where he's given a shot, there's not many of those. I mean, I mentioned Elijah Strait too. And like those big names that Smo just mentioned, like we don't know when Iron's coming back outside.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this battle, but y'all gonna laugh, but he was lined up to battle Surf after JC and Surf battle, and we know that I don't even know where he would sit when Surf comes out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So that too. So yeah, Danny's in a weird spot, and I don't know what this year will look like for him. I just hope that he gets back on track and raps good material. That's it.
And you gotta win this battle, son.
Definitely a must win for him.
Yeah, son. All right. Small, talk to me, man. We got Emerson Kennedy versus Excel. The only person that clearly be A1 in my opinion. Yes, oh, besides Ab, my bad.
I was gonna say a few people, honestly.
He's been
outside at this point,
Real sick. My bad.
Maybe a couple, but he got it at a time that not many people did it. I know that Excel pretty good pen. But that's just kind of what he is, a good pen. He really struggles in any other aspect of the game. That allows him to still put on good fights, good battles. You know, him versus Ab recently. You know, even though Ab kind of got him. Him versus Chef Trez.
Him and Jeff the Kid was on the St. Louis card, right?
That was max out three, and that was good. I personally had him lose that in the edge, but like a good fight. He's a good worker, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you throw him in there, he'll get a couple good W's, but does not have a lot of experience in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. And EK can say maybe isn't exactly like the most profound battler, but when he battles other pens, I mean, Rum Nitty, New Jersey Twork, JC, completely different guy. And I don't know if he has that same level. I know that he probably doesn't have that same exact level of respect for Excel like he does them, but it goes to show that when he brings his pen to the forefront, big cards, big matchups, that he can almost go to like a top tier level quality wise. So I think EK is just a bit of a better battle rapper, a little bit more captivating, a little more all around. So I got EK 2-1 over Excel, but it's gonna be one of those that like I don't think it's gonna be a bad battle or nothing. I also don't think it's gonna be like a standout. It's just gonna be solid, a perfect 2-minute round joint, get your reps in. But I got EK and will be decent. And if Excel wins, not impossible. I got respect for him at this level where I think he could pull out a W if EK slacks at all versus him. So
did you guys see Excel and Av? Did anybody watch? I didn't get to
Same card as Clips and Shaira. That TBL actually. TBL's already done it.
TBL.
So shout out to them. This isn't their only event that they've done.
Yeah. EK has a little bit more variety when it comes to content. I can't say flows because he has the same 4-bar buildup that he uses. It's a staple at this point. He's tried to break out of it. I don't know what it is. That's just how he writes. He's gonna rap like that. Same thing with Clone. Like they just have this structure of how they rap, and you just gotta take it as is, right? Yeah. So, but I think he's highly entertaining when he's locked in. He said he has a lot of creative material as well too. He's been very heavy on the career breakdown talk. Like if you look at like him versus Will, him recently versus O-Red, him recently, you know what I'm saying? So he's angling a little bit more. Right. My only concern is that like he is prone to slip up and choke. I think that Excel might be a little bit more consistent in that regard. Like I don't really see Excel slip up and choke like that. I've seen just recently Emerson Kennedy had like a little slip up against O-Red. There's a couple times where like he may stumble or choke over something. Yeah. Right. Both don't really rap in front of that many people that often. But I am going to edge Emerson Kennedy 2-1.
I got EK too, man. Smo, talk to me. We got Clone versus Elijah Straight.
I actually think out of the opener level early battles, I like this one. They got a little bit of a grudge. They've been going at each other for a minute.
Yes, I know my show.
Puncher versus puncher. I said it this whole video, you know what I'm saying, this whole time we're recording, that Houston loves punchers. So I think that'll bring the best out of him. And I think Elijah, a little bit more creative. I actually like the way he puts his punches together a little bit better. But I think Clone is the better all-around battle rapper, more experienced in front of, 300 to 500. And I know that he is gonna rap just like this. Like it's when he's coming out with, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think that he has enough of that, enough of the tailoredness, enough of just that little bit more it takes as an entertainer. And I can be confident in him to be more clean. Even though I like Elijah, even when he doesn't choke, he stumbles a lot. I don't know if that's because of like the lisp or if that's just a memory thing with him. But that enough that it's enough for me to edge Clone 2-1, but I wouldn't be shocked if Elijah wins. And like I said, out of all the lower level battles the TBL booked, this is one of my more favorite ones. So I'm excited to watch it.
Small, any concerns that I don't know how you had this, but I had Muwap beating Clone, fellas.
No, I had Muwap beating Clone. I was surprised when there was a good amount of people that had Clone. I had Muwap winning for sure. But battlers getting this weird point, right? Where like the guy just battled Rock and Suge and Twork, right? And then you give a shot, and then like you just bring your level down. You shouldn't. He lost to Muwap, so obviously I'm not giving him an out. But I think that then that shocks you back awake. So like him taking that L to Muwap, I think turns around and makes him lock in even more for Elijah Straight.
But Small, what about the other battles you just spoke about? I thought he lost to Twork. I thought he lost to. I mean, no.
He lost to Rock.
He beat Twork and lost to Rock. My bad. All right. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, some of those guys. I mean, Rock's just better than him. You know what I mean? So it comes down to that. But I still think he had a good year last year. Like he beat Twork, decent Twork. He was stumbling a bit too, but like enough that Twork usually beats people of that level, even with a stumble or two. And he was still able to win there. Beat Suge, but we know Suge was donating, killed Death the Kid, even though a lot of people killed Death the Kid.
Yeah, he was dope against Death the Kid though.
Very fire versus Death the Kid.
He was fire.
I don't think he'll be that. I don't think he'll be as dominant as he was for Death the Kid, and I also don't think he'll be as lackluster as he was versus Muwap. I think you'll get a pretty solid Clone, and realistically, it's going to be a debatable battle.
All right. What you got, Lane?
I actually got Elijah Straight 2-1, and honestly, I think that you mentioned that they're both like very punch heavy. Elijah Straight's just been saying some creative shit these past few battles. Like,
he says,
you know what I'm saying? And the thing about Clone is that, like, I think that pacing is good for, like, when you build up to a crazy punch, but when it lands flat, it messes up it just messes up the whole flow of your round. With Elijah Straight, I've actually, I knew I tried my hardest to avoid this. People throw the nitty stigma onto him or whatever, but
he does. Though. I spoke about that shit. He does though.
But he's fire. He's fire.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's that, and it's also like when I watch him versus Danny, you know what I'm saying? There's like chain punching pockets. I'm just like, God damn, like that, yeah, he just like, yeah, I don't know. I got Elijah Straight 2-1. I think he's gonna say more creative shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that with it being a grudge match, it's back and forth. It's gonna be a little bit more. He's gonna be a little bit more amped up. And he wants to prove that he just is a better battle rapper than Clone. So I got Elijah Straight 2-1.
I'm with you on that.
Kind of comfortably. I'm not gonna lie. I think that Clone has better. Like, I think Clone has better presence, more poise. But Elijah Straight just be saying some crazy shit, man. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, we're saying this though, but if you're Clone, when you look at the three of us, like, hey fellas, I'm the same guy that battle Av. I'm the same guy.
I mean, listen, I got Clone 2-1, so I just think he is a bit more well-rounded, but like. He doesn't beat top tiers all that often. Respect, one, he's not a top tier, so that's going to happen. And then two, Elijah's not a top tier. You know what I mean? So, but I completely understand why you guys got Elijah, because like at the peak, he has better references, but I need to see him be clean. And if he can prove to be good in front of 500 people, we might see Elijah have to start taking a step up in the plates that he's getting, because this would be a big win for him. For Clone, it almost seems like it doesn't mean as much, but for Elijah, it could mean everything, and it could be the thing that gets him maybe a top tier look. So.
All right, fellas. Last battle of the night, fellas.
20
Hansel versus Ace Amin.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's tiring just talk about 20 battles.
Right.
I'm not going to use
last battle. Hansel versus Ace Amin, fellas. We did 2 hours here.
Yeah, Hansel versus Ace Amin is decent joint. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. And this is another one though where I think Ace is a better battle rapper than Hansel, but he has been more than questionable lately between backing out battles, between not
being let me get Slade and go down. I was mad.
Yeah, him and Slade, him and Rock, bro. Him and Rock was booked as a 1 rounder. It ended up going down. Him and Un P. I didn't really want it, you know what I mean? But it's not go. It didn't go down. And then when he did pop out, it was versus Capo. He choked, lost, and then his last 3 rounder I saw was him versus Suge, and he died. So like obviously I'm a little suspect of what Ace is gonna bring. Even though I think I'm a big believer in his talents. He's elite rapper, street talk, very authentic. He very much so lives what he raps about, and that shows when he gets in those pockets too.
Are we gonna get the Ace Amin that battle, Rum Nitty? Are we gonna get that?
That's why I got him 2-1, bro. You know, because I got more faith. Plus 2-minute rounds, 2 15-yard cutoff, right? Punchers. He takes a long time. Ace sometimes he builds it to the point, and I think Hansel's gonna be like right to the point like that. So I think it'll be a big win for Hansel if he gets it done. Probably one of the best talents he's beaten so far. And I'm confident. I'd almost say I'm fairly confident in him winning the battle 2-1. But if Ace is the Ace that we know, he's a better battle rapper. He will win. But just like I said, if there's certain guys that their inconsistencies are enough where I can almost bet on them not being 100%. So it's one of those things you got to show me. You got to prove to me that you're back mentally there and you're ready to be great again.
Lang, I ain't gonna lie to you, Lang. I had Dice beating Hansel.
I mean, hey. That's all I can say.
A lot of people got Dice in the second and the third. I can't. And I walked away more impressed with Dice's material. I wish he didn't choke in the first. I think he would have won the battle clearly. But that just goes to show even Hansel has his flaws. Like Ace can still definitely win this battle.
Yeah,
I got to see him be consistent.
I think I've probably been one of the bigger Hansel advocates. Because I just think that I see the potential, but I also see the stigma because I feel like a lot of people think that he's kind of vanilla or generic when it comes to like just his style because he's a puncher, right? And then unless you're like saying the most creative shit in the world every battle, right? You kind of get lost in the mix in that regard. But I just think that I don't know. I think he's kind of shown us that he can beat people though. Like I had him beating Holmesy, even if you want to say a lot of people don't remember the battle. I had him beating Unus in a good battle as well too.
Beating Unus is heavy.
Right. Beating Suge, you know what I'm saying? I had him beating Suge as well too. Right. He was one of the guys that actually had a good performance in you know what I'm saying, his final exams against teams and whatnot. But the issue is that for every time he does that, there is a loss that he will take against like a lower scale comp, whether it be Mozzie, whether it be Ease on Civil War.
He's bad.
You know what I'm saying? So
Justice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been Justice, right? So it's been a pattern of him showing you promise, but then also just taking a weird loss. But I do think that like the one thing that is consistent is that in those losses, it's not like he's just flat out bad. It's just for some reason people level up against him. I don't know what that's about. Now the Mozzie one, I was like, okay, you kind of just gave us one good round and the other 2 was whatever. But one thing I can say about him is that he's wildly consistent for the most part. And I think that's enough for him to beat Ace Amin right now. So I got Hansel 2-1. But to Smo's point, Ace Amin's a better rapper. And if it comes to a point in time, the Ace comes with like a crazy performance, right? That's probably going to outdo what Hansel's going to bring. So
I just don't feel Ace he doesn't finish clean all the time. He's not clean,
and that's been the thing his whole career. But especially in this stretch, it's been as bad as ever. You know, and that might be outside of battle rap stuff for all we know, because he really looked out of it. He's backing out after he looked like he was so good in 2023, leading up to Rum Nitty. So I hope he finds his joy and his motivation again, man, because he's a guy that could have a place here, but he can never put it together to make it to that next level.
Before wrapping up, guys, I always felt like URL wanted Ace to win.
Yo, do you remember when he popped out versus Hughes the General?
Yeah.
They were marketing him like he could be a star. Like, and he really I remember the Lux comparisons early, and that sounds crazy, but if you were there, you were there.
Yeah, no. Born Legacy, the band Legacy time was a time. I remember that vivid. Because you know what's crazy?
The real talk thirds that were all
yes.
Never put it together like 2 years in a row of just being clean. He's never done
What's crazy about that is that, like, I heard rumblings about a guy. They released Swamp and You're On There first, and I thought they were talking about Swamp initially. So I was like, oh, yeah, I see it. But they were like, nah, that's not even the guy we're talking about. We're talking about this guy. And I was like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's crazy because yeah, to that point, I feel like they thought that Ace was going to be their new starter they could market. And when you really think about it, has conviction, raps really well, very distinct style, very articulate, knows how to promote. You know what I'm saying? So he has all the capabilities of being a all-time great, but I think the difference maker is the consistency.
Yes.
Not beating, or not taking advantage of those major plays that you get consistently or whatever. Him and Swamp were supposed to be
beat him up. They should body him.
Him and Swamp were supposed to be the leaders in a new school. It was marketed that way on Smack Volume 5.
It was never the same after Swamp beat him on Volume 5. I mean, he's found patches of being good and there's patches of being bad, but after he lost that Swamp battle on Volume 5, I feel like he never fully, you know what I mean, like got back there.
Right. I agree, Smo. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Listen, man, it's been 2 hours. I appreciate y'all, fellas.
I love you to death, 3. And I love having these combos. Goes to show that the guys in the battles are on the card, though, man. Oh my God! But we got a lot of good ahead of us. Much more good than that, and I can't wait. We'll probably end up talking again about these battles over the
T-Top. We got T-Top's card to talk about when he drops.
Yeah, there's only a couple more left in that one too. I think before that's fully out, so I can't wait to talk about that.
All right, brothers, I appreciate the knowledge as always. I love y'all, brothers, man.
Of course, man. Much love, 3. Thank you for having us.
Always, man. Shout out Smo. Shout out my brother Lang. Y'all know the vibes already.